When I found out it was very serious, and I mean, you are numb. You don't know what's going to happen. The unknown is the worst problem, because you're like going, well, I don't know. I've said many times, you know, I was told I have cancer. I didn't know at that time if I should buy green bananas or not. A lot of people go, well, how could you laugh at that? Hey, how could you not? You could only cry so much.
Did you cry?
I did cry. But there's so many things that happen that you just laugh at. I didn't let cancer stop me. And every time you could laugh at cancer, you win. And cancer loses just a little bit. A friend of mine had cancer. He had to get a little surgery to get it removed on his neck. And his wife called me. She goes, you know, he's not talking to anybody. You've been through it. Will you talk to him? I said, absolutely. So I called him, and it was like pulling teeth. He didn't want to talk. He didn't want to say anything. I'm like, how you been? We talked for about 5 minutes, and I said, hey, let me ask you a question. How many times you pooped the bed? I beg your pardon? I go, how many times you pooped the bed? He goes, well, I never pooped the bed. I go, well, I pooped it twice. What are you worried about? Now, he laughed. For 45 minutes, I didn't get another word in. He just talked, and I just went, uh-huh, that's right. That's right.
You got him laughing.
And that's the key.
What kind of cancer was it?
I had Nonhodgkins lymphoma.
Which is so funny, right there. If it's non-Hodgkin's,
Yes.
why say it's not? If it's not Hodgkin, just don't say it's Hodgkin's. Why do you have to put it's non-Hodgkin's? You know, I don't tell somebody I have non-throat cancer.
Absolutely. And you know, it was so funny though, because they told me that, and you know, they leave the room. It's like, okay, you have non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, stage 4.
Wouldn't that just be lymphoma?
I would think. And so they leave, and my wife was like, well, you know, well, I don't know, and I don't know. And I go, oh, I can tell you exactly what that means. I said, Mario Lemieux, the hockey player, he had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. He missed 1 season, and he came back and played. She's looking at me. I go, yeah, I don't know how that's going to help me. I can't ice skate.
You said that too.
Yeah.
Did she laugh?
Not, you know what? She didn't. She didn't laugh a lot of the time. My daughter didn't laugh. And finally, one thing that happened, the medicine that I had that gave me a horrible reaction is actually mice DNA. My daughter heard that. That's when she started laughing. Because when there's a mouse in the house, I lose my mind. It's like a military conquest. I have to outsmart this mouse.
It had mouse DNA.
It has mouse DNA. And she's telling me, oh, Dad, you're going to run along and squeak, 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 squeak. You're going to run along and you're going to get ears and the tail and all that stuff. And somebody was like, oh, you know, don't make fun of your dad. I go, wait a minute. That's the first time she's laughed in I don't know how long. You let her go.
How long would you say that was when that happened?
It was probably 2 weeks after I found out.
Your wife still wasn't laughing at this moment.
She was not laughing.
You know, Joe, you're talking about that it was hard for you to laugh at first, then your daughter 2 weeks later, then your wife. And why was it important to all of you to reach that point of laughing? Why was that important?
I think laughter is the great equalizer.
What did it do to you? Let's start with you first, and then what you think it did to your daughter and wife.
It gave me relief. It gave me, you know.
Relief from?
From the burden of cancer. I am a firm believer, every time you could laugh at cancer, you loosen the grip that cancer has on you. I had a mass in my kidney, and they operated on the kidney, and they took about...
That's right, you're Catholic.
Yes.
So you would have a mass.
Of course I would.
I
I can't believe you went there. Okay, you got a mass in your kidney. They took it out like...
Was it the short mass or the longer service?
Oh, it was the long one, like Easter. It went on forever, and you're like, all right, can we raise the dead and let's get the hell out of here.
It's so much fun to be around a comic where you get to have fun like this.
Yeah. But
you had a mass in your kidney.
I did. And they took it out, and that was fine. But then, I believe like 2 weeks later, something was going wrong, and I told my wife, I go, something's not right. I'm not feeling right. And what had happened is the artery that supplies blood to the kidney was leaking. I was bleeding out into my stomach. And we went to the emergency room, and I have to say, everybody is very, very concerned. And we had bought a car a couple of months ago. I mean, yeah, it's our car, but technically it was mine.
Yeah.
So I'm telling my wife, see, you always wanted the car. Go ahead, it'll be yours. You know, I'm thinking I'm so funny. I'm laughing right now. And she's going, do you realize what's going on? I go, yeah, I know exactly what's going on. My sister is a vegetarian. My dad, years and years ago, bought an industrial meat grinder. Okay, what does a vegetarian want with this?
Yeah.
And I always tell her, that's the legacy. That's the dynasty. And I tell my sister, she comes in to check on me. I go, it looks like the dynasty is going to be yours. Now she's crying, oh my God, I don't want the dynasty. Don't say things like that. And I was like going, okay, if this is it, I'm not going down crying.
Did you think that was it?
Yes, I did.
So the car and the meat grinder, this is it?
Basically, David, I'm trying to get in one more show. I'm trying to headline one more show. And now I will say, I saw my mom, and it all stopped because I said, if I die in front of my mom for the rest of her life, that is going to hurt her so bad. And then I was scared. I couldn't joke in front of her. Up until then, I was like, I really did. I said, I'm going to go. I'm going to die, but I'm going to die my own way. I'm going to die laughing if I go out. And now, when I say things like this, when we reminded the family, they're like, oh my God, could you believe he said that? And I'm like, why are you guys shocked? You know me. This is what I do.
Sure.
What is a comic's job? To take a horribly uneasy situation, twist it, and make you laugh.
When you did.
And we did. Then it all started all over again.
And then that led to the coma.
I was in the coma. I was in a coma for 6 days. And I will tell you, here's the thing about a coma. You don't know. Everybody else is worried. You're fine. You don't know what's going on. I wake up from the coma and I'm looking, and my mom and my cousin are over me. And I'm very confused. I'm disoriented, but not really grasping what had happened. And I'm looking, and my mom is talking to me, and she's telling me all the mom things. Hey, you're all right. Don't worry about a thing. You're okay now. Everything's good. And all I could do is I'm looking at her, and I'm going, oh my God, she dyed her hair because there's a blue tint. You know the blue tint that I'm talking about. And I look at my cousin Nino, who has way less hair than I do, and he has a blue tint. Now I know something's wrong. So I'm like,
is this Nino?
Yes.
Like the Nino I know. Okay.
Yes. And I'm
because Nino would never have a blue tint.
No. And he's like hugging me as much as you could hug someone in a bed. And he's keep going, oh my God, I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad you're here. And I don't grasp what's going on. So I finally look at him. Yeah, I'm glad to see you. Like he came over for coffee. I don't get it. I was very lucky. I had a huge support system.
Yeah.
My cousin Nino, not only is my cousin, he was the best man at my wedding. He's my daughter's godfather. He called every day. He was always checking on me every day. My mom was there every day. I have to say, typical Italian family. Okay? I'm going through chemotherapy. We all know what happens. You can't eat. You're throwing up. My mom's bringing food. Every day.
Try this, honey.
Yeah.
Try this.
Hey, I know you were sick yesterday. Here's some lasagna. Are you kidding? Something heavy like lasagna? But here's the deal. When your mother brings that kind of food, you get the greatest nursing care you've ever seen. Because nurses from other floors will come up and go, oh, hi, Joe. How you feeling? Did I see your mom come in with a covered dish? Yeah, it's over there. Help yourself. So the next day she comes with garlic bread. I go, okay. So I'm throwing up, but so besides throwing up, you want me to have the heartburn that goes with it too. Good.
Garlic bread?
Yeah.
Did you ever kick anybody out for being too serious, Joe?
I did. We've all got that one family member. I'm going through chemo. I don't have a hair on my body. I'm as sick as you could humanly be. He asked me, hey, did you ever see that movie, The Bucket List? Really? That's what you want me to think about at this time? Goodbye. Goodbye. I have an older aunt, same thing. She comes in the room. Her name is my Aunt Virginia. We call her Aunt Jen. She comes in, she's one of these. Looks at me, I've got IVs. I've got a port, I got an IV in here. At that time, I think I had 4 IVs in. Mm-hmm. So I really do. I kind of look like a float in the parade. These are my guidelines. And she comes in and she's standing at the door. Oh my God. Oh, bae. Oh, God. Oh. Finally, I go, Aunt Jen, I'm not dead yet. Come on in. Have some coffee. It's fine. People come into the room and they're asking me, how you doing? I go, well, beats the alternative. Every time they ask me, are you ready for your transfusion? I would go, yeah, what kind of blood is that? And they go, what do you mean, what kind of blood? Your type? I go, no. I go, can I get some blood from an opera singer? Why an opera singer, sir? Well, you know, it looks like a good season. It's not a whole lot of work. I think I'd like to do that. I'm going through the treatment. I don't have any hair on me. I'm white, I'm sickly, I'm pale, and no one will be mean to me. So I see the Jehovah's Witnesses.
And you want people to be mean to you.
I want to be treated normally.
You just when somebody takes a shot, they take a shot back at
That's
you.
right. That's right.
That's
This is how we do. This is how we do. This is how we always have done things around the kitchen table. So the Jehovah's Witnesses are walking up and down the street, and I go, this is perfect. This is great. They had been there the week before, and I was asleep, and I was very disappointed that I missed them.
You know, here's something you don't hear, Joe. I'm so sorry I missed the Jehovah's Witness.
That's how desperate I was. That's how. So when they did, I pulled a Bronx tail. I opened him. I was like, oh, come in, sit down. And I locked the door behind him, and I said, I ask yous to leave, now yous can't leave. And they're like, okay. So he starts his spiel. I don't let him get into it. Here's the problem. You don't believe in blood transfusions. I had 7 of them. You don't believe in stem cell transplants. I had 1 of those. Now, I would be dead without that. And their pat answer, oh, no, sir, because we're sure that God would have taken care of you. I go, he did take care of me. He put me with the right family, with the right doctors, the right nurses, and the right medicine. And that's how I did it. And they're going, obviously, we're disagreeing on this. So now he wants to leave. I unlock the door. And I go, okay, so you're not going to come back? None of you guys are coming back? No. As a matter of fact, we think you're evil. I go, well, the joke's on you because you're the religious one. You got to pray for me. They have never come back. They walk up and down the street, and I'm sitting at the front door waiting. And my wife goes, will you stop? Will you stop? They have never, I'm on the blacklist.
How's cancer changed your life?
Things that used to scare me, I realized how silly I was to be afraid of them.
Like?
I had done some shows. I'd done some stand-up after being sick and after the coma and everything was fine. But there's a couple plays that I've always wanted to do. And I had never auditioned for the plays because they are musicals, and I'm very limited as a singer. I got about 1.5 note range. That's all I got.
Gotcha.
And the first one that I took, or the first one that I went to and I auditioned for, was a funny thing happened on the way to the form. And I wanted the role of Pseudolus. But I was always afraid.
Always the role I wanted.
It's the greatest role a stand-up comic could ever have.
Sure.
And I was afraid. I was afraid to audition. Times I wouldn't even go audition. But I would sit there and I'd go, oh man, I really want to do it. I want to do it. And I wouldn't. And I said, after cancer, I go, seriously, what am I waiting for? I went and I auditioned. And I have a picture that is my screensaver on my phone, on both computers that I own. It's after the show. I am in full costume with my wife and my daughter. The picture is out of focus. We have red dots in our eyes. It's a horrible picture. But you're looking at a family that beat cancer. And to me, it's the greatest picture in the world. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. And you know the show. So you know the first song I had to sing is a great thing. Tragedy tomorrow, comedy tonight. I go out and I talk to people and I try to tell them, I understand cancer is very scary, but there's all kinds of cancer. Let's find out what you've got. Can it be treated? What can we do to treat it? And every time you laugh at cancer, you will win. I always look at it like this. If the nuns in Catholic school couldn't get me to shut up, there's no way cancer's going to get me to shut up. No way.